In today's video, we're going to unbox and review the BelloReed-Ultra from E-Bellow. Stay tuned. All right, everybody, I was sent here the BelloReed-Ultra from E-Bellow, a device for testing the strength of your Chanter reeds, and I believe even your drone reeds, but it's all going to be in here, so let's not waste any more time and get in here. All right, so right up top we have the BelloReed by E-Bellow user guide. We'll be reviewing that. We have the E-Bellow bagpipe pressure gauge here and the invoice as well. So there you go. So inside we have the stopper and the hose to connect to the pressure gauge. Some nice additional wrapping inside. Bright red, can't miss that. And I believe the gauge itself in this box right here. And that is it. So let's start with unwrapping this guy. All right, there we go. The BelloReed right here. Definitely going to need to read through some of the instructions here. And let's go ahead and open the gauge. And it is quite... Okay, we got a little connector bit there. Let's not lose that in case that's needed. The gauge itself coming out of the box. Nice high quality unit. Goes to 60 right there. And as pipers, we're typically playing in and around, 27 to 32. You can go below 27 for an easy read. You can go above 32 if you like digging in a little bit more, but that's kind of the range in inches of water moved in a manometer, which is, you can make one out of a tube in water, but those are clunky. These are much easier. All right, let's look through the user guide right here. The BelloReed is a multifunction tool that facilitates bagpipe reed selection, adjustment, and pressure measurement. It has the unique ability to form an airtight seal around both pipe chanter and drone tenons, and without the need to add or remove hemp, making it an ideal tool for adjusting personal and multiple reeds in bands as well as performance groups. The BelloReed reduces the risk to your health by reducing exposure to bacteria and viruses harbored on bagpipe chanters, drones, and reeds. Measures both chanter and drone reed strength using a detachable pressure gauge option. Adjusts and accommodates Great Highland chanter and drone tenons ranging from 19 to 23 millimeters without the need to add or remove hemp. That one's really good. Together, these represent a set of major capabilities wrapped up in one easy-to-use device. So we got this right here. It's got a flat mouthpiece here to blow into, and I just happen to have a pipe chanter right here. Let's test how this fits. All right, so loosen the BelloReed nut. Okay, there is a reducing sleeve. I'm going to take this out because I know this chanter, the stock this goes into, is on the wider side. So we're going to go ahead and put that in. I'm going to take the reed out for now while I'm figuring out how to adjust this thing to fit. There we go. Nice snug fit on there now. Okay. All right, to attach the gauge, it's got a nice little just button here. I'm going to press that, push this on, and then boom, it clicks in. That's not going anywhere. So let's put the reed back in. I'm going to slide this in, and then I'm going to tighten it. All right, so it's in there. You can see it's not touching here, but the sleeve is actually extending out. And I'm assuming this is all going to be airtight. And yeah, I'm actually going to turn this around so you guys can see the gauge while I blow, and we'll see what happens. Now let me turn around so I can see it. All right, this Chanter reed's actually gotten a little beefy. This is coming in at 35 these days. That's a little stronger than I wish. It's kind of opened up a bit. I'm gonna give the reed a wee lick and a couple squeezes. See how that might help bring it down a little bit. Is it any easier? 32. It's a little better. Let's turn around and let you guys see it. And if you have a smaller diameter chanter stock, it does have a reducing sleeve that will go in here so that it will fit on that. I would say that most modern pipes, at least the ones I've had the opportunity to play with, have big enough stocks you probably won't need this. So I would try it first without this and see if you can get it on there. But if you can't get it to snug up on there, without the reducing sleeve, then just stick that on and give it a try. Let's try this with some drones and see what that does. Back with my 2026 Ronnie Heen McDougall Series pipes here, and we're going to test these with this gauge as well. One of the first tests I like doing with a set of drones is I want to see if I can overblow the drones to get them to turn off roughly 8 to 10 inches of water higher than the Chanter. So that Chanter was coming in 32-ish, which to be honest is a little much for me. I'm probably going to work that reed down a little bit. But for now, I'm looking for these to turn off 40, 42. If it's even 44, I'm probably not going to argue too much. But if they're turning off really anything above that, they're too far open. Some people like overblowing the drones off at around 5 inches of water higher. My two issues with that are, one, I find it's close enough to the operational strength of your Chanter that maybe tripping over a tree root or maybe digging into your high A to maybe bring the pitch up if you're feeling it's a bit flat, that alone might be just enough to turn your reed off mid-performance, and especially in a pipe band setting, you might not notice, which is going to make the cutoff a lot harder to do. If you turn off one of your tenors accidentally and you don't know it, you really got to get that bag down really far if you're going to get that cutoff at the end of a competition. So it's a little close for me there. I also find when it comes to the timbre, the tone quality of the drone, when it's around 5 above, the drone sounds just a bit overdriven. I like it being a little bit more open so that when we're blowing, we're more in the thick middle part of the drone's sound, the reed's sound, rather than getting closer to where it's about to cut off. But that's just how my ear hears it. I'm more concerned about being closer to where the Chanter is operating and the potential of possibly turning off the drones. Again, especially for someone newer to the instrument that's not blowing maybe as steady as they might want. So 8 to 10, kind of what we're looking for. Enough of my yammering. Let's test this bass drone. It's the closest to me. Got a USA high resonance balanced tone reed on this guy. And just going to stick this on. And it goes in just fine. All right, it's on there nice and good now. Let's give it a go. So that turned off at 55. That's too open. Let's go ahead and close this reed down a little bit. .46, that's a little bit better. Turn this so you guys might be able to see it on camera here. So already super useful. This is way easier to do than trying to get this drone reed all the way in your mouth. Now, the balanced tone reed's relatively short, so these aren't so bad. A canard or something with the really long tongues, those can be quite challenging. This would be super duper useful for something like that. And when I say close down the reed, I'm taking the bridle and moving it so that I shorten the tongue. I said that way, but if you have an inverted reed, that way might be the wrong direction. So I want less vibrating blade, tongue, whatever you call that bit right here on this. I believe it's a bit of glass fiber, but to make it take less air, we want less of that vibrating. So micro, just tiny bits of a millimeter at a time, I'm moving the bridle to make the reed a little bit shorter so that it turns off a little bit sooner. I think we got it perfect now. It's turning off right at 42. And yes, after I get all three of these turning off at around 42, I'm going to fire this thing up and we're going to see how the whole thing's playing. Though again, with that Chanter reed being 32, you might see a few more veins popping out of the forehead than normal because I don't normally play a Chanter reed that's quite that stiff these days. As a younger man, I played 32s, but I'm 48 now. I don't need to be working that hard. All right, middle tenor. Oh, I got that one already. That one's already turning off right at 42. So that was nice. Now, hopefully the other tenor is just as easy and I don't have to adjust anything. That makes my life, well, easier. Nope, this one's more like 50. So my reeds were not all that well in adjustment. So if you have a tool like this, this can go a long way to helping you quickly test to see how your setup is doing so that, you're playing an efficient bagpipe and not working harder than you need to. If your reeds are turning off at above 50, you're working too hard. I think that was it. I think that's also right at 42. This thing is awesome. I've been able to fit it on 3 drones and a Chanter, and it'll adjust to all sorts of different sizes. And again, it has this reduction sleeve if you happen to have really probably an older set of pipes or perhaps like Dunfians, which have quite small stocks. He's thought of that for you. I wanted to give a quick shout out to the members of my Patreon community. You'll see their names scrolling up right now. These are folks that contribute monthly to the channel. I'd love to add your name to this list. Really, none of this would be possible without the support of all of these fine people, so thank you so much. There's a number of perks. You can check it out. Head over to the Patreon. I'm going to go grab my multi-tool to grab a little pair of scissors because I don't want to nick that little bit of hosing on this because it wouldn't work then. So be careful when removing the zip ties from this hose. All right, it's got a nice stopper to go in one of your drones, and then the gauge itself. Now, this one does not appear to have any sort of mount, so I'm just going to mount this like on a music stand to look at this. A lot of times with my various bagpipe gauges over the years, I've actually just set it on either a tall shelf near me or a music stand. Just be aware it is tethered. It's going to, pull off. That's the one problem of it not being connected. I don't happen to see anything that would turn this into something that would connect to your pipes. That's just fine. I got my iStrobosoft tuner up and running. I got the gauge here, and I gave the pipes just a wee go to make sure they were kind of roughly in tune. Let's go ahead and hook this gauge up and see what's all happening here. Stopper goes in quite nicely to the gauge. That's nice. Now, if you did want to mount this to your blowpipe, let me grab some Velcro cord holders, cord ties, and I'll show you how you can put those together so you can actually take this mount right here and actually mount it to the blowpipe so you don't have to have this somewhat precarious situation here. Here are 3 Velcro cable wraps. We'll take a measurement and there'll be information on screen and in the description of where you can pick some of these up. So if we undo it from here, we're going to put that over here. So what we're looking at when I do this is, so it's a 6-inch Velcro hook and loop zip tie. So we have one face down and we have another face up. And we're going to run the face up one through the face down one here and just get them, So now the face up side is on the right, the face down side is on the left, and then through both of these openings in here, I'm going to run a third one face down, just making sure I'm getting this right, through both of the plastic retainers. It's running through there. I'm going to go ahead with that third one now just to get it out of the way. I'm going to kind of loop it through itself, and just so that this isn't sticking to anything. So this is going to be the loop. That third one's going to be the one you're using to mount to your stock when you go to do this. And then to mount it to the gauge, we're going to put the hook side down nice and firm. And we're going to, with kind of as much tension as we can, push this up and around. And if you do it right, it doesn't really want to spin on here too much, but you can always put a couple pieces of tape or something back here. You're really never going to have to undo this one again, and you're going to mount it from here with that third one. As you can see right here, it goes in and around, and now it's mounted on there in a way where you'd be able to see it when you're playing your pipes. So there you go. That would be an inexpensive way to make a mount for this lovely gauge so that you can play it on your pipes. And then just to show it mounted on an actual set of pipes here, not just on the table and a little setup, you can see it's faced up toward me. As I play, I'm going to be able to read out from this, and I don't have to worry about it being pulled off from the music stand or whatever I might have as I'm walking around. Let's give it just another wee go. And I definitely wanted to give a big shout out to Bruce Lazaroff for getting me this device right here to test and show you guys. It's a great idea. It's a great execution of this idea. And with just a couple of cable wraps, you'll actually be able to turn this into a mountable device as well to test your pressure while you're playing. But man, being able to test reeds quickly with this and not have to rehemp anything, man, that's a game changer. I love it. This thing is awesome. It is definitely going to become part of my regular toolkit. And I love that it's bright red. It's going to be hard to miss this thing, even inside a dark pipe case. I also give online bagpipe lessons. If you want more information, go ahead and head over to www.commandyourbagpipe.com or email me at the address you see here, and we'll get you going. I'm working with folks from all over the planet, and I hope to work with you soon. Again, thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you got something out of the video, consider giving it a like, subscribing to the channel, or maybe even, again, heading over to the Patreon. It really does help. All right, everybody, until next time, I'm Matt Willis. Cheers.